Good morning. Good morning. All right. It's a pleasure for me to be here as a German. I come from the SAP headquarters in Germany. It's got two reasons why I'm happy to be here. Because first of all, of course, Athens is such a nice city. And second, it's quite difficult to get out of Germany these days. You never know if you got stuck in a train, from a train station or on the airport. Either Lufthansa or the Deutsche Bahn is on strike frequently. So that's one of the big challenges we currently have. It was also interesting to learn from a Norwegian about Greece. Thank you very much. I learned quite a lot. And I would like you to join me on a short trip across the Greek fence with the global future of digital banking. I like to start with quite a shocking intro. Yeah. And that's, I think a thread all of you are aware. And why is it? As we already heard, there are a number of retailers and other players which build the new face to the customers. They are much more aggressive, much more innovative with digital solutions, digital innovations, and really move constantly into the banking value chain. And they reduce you, the banks, just to be a nice back office provider. Well, somehow it needs a bank at some stage. Banks are not really sexy. What is sexy about a payment, about a transaction at the back end? And yeah, the others are the face, and the banks just become the mandatory piece at the end of the value chain. So if you have a look at the digital leaders of the world, so as we already heard, there is a lot about mobile payments, but there are a lot of other digital services which the customers of today, like we are the new generation, but also I think my age still is requiring a lot of product information, mobile offers and coupons and loyalty rewards. And if you have a look at here at all the nice logos, you won't find a bank. So really in the retail banking space, the banks are lagging behind quite a lot. Let's have a look at, some of today's banks, like here Starbucks. With all, if you accrue the stored value on the cards, and it's not only on the cards, also on the mobile phones, as you see, it was about the transactions about 2.5 billion only in the US. No bank behind, no transaction from the bank. Just think again how much of your revenue is touched by those cards, and this is just Starbucks. Banks are so closely, the retailers, and like Amazon are so closely connected to their partners, they can easily add banking services on top of their relationship here. So with Amazon Lending for the vendors, just simply stepping into, I just borrow you the money which you would need just to establish your little enterprise. Then cross-border remittances. You want to send money from Greece to the US or somewhere else. TransferWise, also another provider, identified a nice space to grab some market share from the banks because they don't charge huge of transaction fees. They find people in Greece, they find people in the US who want to transfer the money, and they just do the matching on both sides and have a nice exchange rate. And again, business from the banks gone to non-banks. And so my personal view, I see all those PayPals, Amazons, Google Wallet, okay, Apple Pay in future as well here, with high relevance and very easy to use. On the other side, I see my bank, which I trust for years, for 20, 30, 40 years already. And they both fight the race of relevance in different directions, but they try to get into the fourth quadrant here from different angles. And now the question is, who will win the race? One of our customers, the BBVA in Spain, their CEO said, well, we do have a huge advantage. We have so much information about our clients, our customers. We have financial information. We know what money is going into their accounts. We know what they're doing, what they're liking, what their debts are, and so on and so forth. So we should be able to do something with them. And SAP and some of our partners, we developed what we call the digital banking maturity model. And this is something which we've done for the last 12 months with quite a number of customers directly, and also as a kind of a research outside in to see the 5 different levels of digital banking maturity. So if we start level 1, the entry point, the digital starter, so you will have a digital channel. Could be mobile, internet, very simple transactions. All the accounting onboarding is still done via branch or the classic channel. Also, only very few products. On level 2, probably the same, but then all the bank-owned products at least aggregated on the internet or on the mobile channel, where still a lot of the onboarding origination done on the classic side. Level 3, the omni aggregator, how we call it, now taking not only the bank-owned products, but also third-party products from the customer into a consolidated view for the customer. Yeah? The first really cross-channel capabilities and some slight customer analytics really to provide more information to the customer. The more we go up the chain here, we have level 4, the omni-achiever. So it's a real omni-channel, seamless omni-channel architecture. High-level analysis, real-time analysis. So for example, offering real-time offers based on the customer's changes. And finally, level 5, the omni-leader, doing the customer, the personalization in perfection, creating the segment of one, and also maintaining a platform for other financial institutes, for retailers, really to serve all the customers' needs, but with the bank in the driver's seat. Now, just a quick question. What do you think, where have we identified the most advanced bank? In Europe, US, Asia Pacific? Just roughly, what do you think? It's here. So there is a way to go for all the global banks really to fully comply with the expectations of customers. If you take the leading retailers into consideration, there is a long way to go. Of course, we as SAP, we do have a solution set. And for all those who are sitting in the back, don't worry about the small words in here. I make it easier for you. So there are some building blocks we offer to the market, to you, the customers. And of course, there are a lot of solutions on the customer-facing channels, all the different channels you need to have to interact with your customers, current ones and future ones. Then, of course, omni-channel platform, and I think I could talk for about half an hour to explain the difference between a single channel, multi-channel, cross-channel, omni-channel, but omni-channel is really the realizing the bank as a brand and not as a particular application or app or a channel or a device whatsoever. Then there is a lot of solutions for different lines of business, like for marketing, sales, customer management, and service. And finally, we have a real-time data platform underneath, and real-time really means real-time. I'll show you a nice example from a customer later on. So how does this help the interaction and the customer life cycle? First of all, there is a lot of information coming from your customers, from social media, from any other channels, and of course from transactions. You may not identify them as coming from the same customer, from the same person, but there are ways to do so and store them in some areas like, as I said, channel content, social, other content. You do a real-time analysis and really break up your silos in the back end. I know your bank is also organized in silos. Your customer doesn't care about silos. He wants to see his whole engagement and enable him really to see all his assets, all his liabilities, and so on and so forth. Include the partners, other financial institutions, retailers you're working with, your customers working with, and create the segment of one. And of course, communicate back through all the different customer channels. Just a proof point, well, we as SAP, why am I here to tell you what you should do? Well, we do have sound experience globally in the banking market. I'm pretty sure you will be able to read the slide later on, so I don't go into detail here. And this is the example from a large Australian bank. They ran a pilot with us. So they were analyzing the transactions, so incoming money on the accounts of their customers, with our real-time data platform at the back end. So money coming in, it was calculated against the history, some algorithm behind, and if there was a certain difference against the threshold, an alarm popped up and a real-time offer for this particular client went to a salesperson somewhere. The bad thing at the beginning was the information came much faster than the customer was aware there was new money on the account. The customers were complaining, why do you call me? I don't even know I have money on my account. So in the meantime, they added a few hours on top of it, and they call the customers later. But as you see, also the return rate was, the conversion rate was quite good, and this would have been all the money you'd never knew about. You knew probably too late, and the customer had done something else. We also have the Standard Bank South Africa using our technology to remotely open 7,000 new accounts daily. This is, of course, more than the unbanked, but it's still showing how the digital era, the new digital banking future helps. And most of you will know SAP applications as quite boring, difficult. So if you ever were using an SAP application, the SAP user interface, and I still have to admit, we have some of those are quite annoying. But these are new SAP user interfaces. So as mobile here, customer of ours provides their customers with detailed analysis on their transactions. The marketing department has a nice view of what are their customers doing, the customer engagement intelligence, so putting their customers into different segments to address them in a proper way and like they expected. And it is quite more complex. You see who does it, what does he actually say, on which channel is it provided, and then you can react in real time to your customer. eBay, actually, with 1 billion transactions every day, found their system is too large and to react in a good manner. So they are using that system. So, as we heard before from Espen, times are changing. I think you also need to change your customer interaction from the old way into some kind of new way. Well, ευχαριστώ. Thank you very much for listening.